remembering, it's important to highlight to the continent, to the world, that when it comes to South Africa, we are the fourth highest number of locally based players in the Bafana squad. Qatar, Saudi with 25, then England come in next with locally based players in England. South Africa doing it with 18 players that come from the domestic league, actually 19 players that come from there, the DDC. That's part of making it happen, the DSTV Diski Challenge, making sure we incubate our young talent domestically.
Yeah, I mean, it's such an important program for us as South Africans, and we've seen a lot of players being able to get an opportunity to play there, getting ready, getting to the first teams and able to deliver. And here you can see Maseko, player that also just scored a goal previously in the World Cup. Mufokeng, also one of the superstars that comes from the DDC, Mbogazi. The list can go on, and I think it's such an important program. We can see that there is also some sort of acceleration from those type of players to be able to see them at the world stage in the World Cup.
Interesting that, you know, England and South Africa would have something like that in common, right? England have 22 players based in England. South Africa now are the second in terms of left in the tournament with locally based players. And we do it every week, week in and week out, right here on your World of Champions, showing the PSL, showing the sides that make up the majority of Bafana.
Yeah, I think that's the one positive from the Premiership with the DDC, developing the young players. You're giving them a platform, exposing them also to television, so preparing them for the next step, which is obviously the first team.
And the coach has done the business of making sure he keeps the core of those successful sides. I was going to mention this, and William will testify to this. In order to win any matches, you've got to bring on winners. You know, Pirates winning the domestic league, Sundowns winning the CAF Champions League. So in your national team, you've got a bunch of winners knowing already how to win matches. So now you put those players together, and I think the chemistry is just automatic. And so many, maybe when they're not talking about England or Spain or Germany, consider locally based inferior. That's not the case. Mamelodi Sundowns have been to the Club World Cup, Skipper. They are the champions of club football on the African continent, and it's showing in Bafana's resilience.
Yeah, I think the biggest part of this is that winning mentality, the culture you build. As a national team coach, you want to have players that have been on the world stage. I think the Sundowns, they showed everyone else in the world who didn't know about them what the league is about. But also, I think, was, again, another part of the national team, because so many of those players are the core and the base of what the Bafana is built on. I think for all the teams of Africa watching this and are performing so well, South Africa really has a blueprint, maybe together with Morocco, about domestic league and success from that for the national team.
Made by Coach Hugo Bruce. Let's try and explain it. Sean, that one change, what happens?
Yeah, I think it's expected. You know, Tebogo Mokoena was suspended the last game, so he comes back into the midfield instead of Talent Mbata. And we're hoping that that combination between him and Sithole will, give us rewards. Again, I prefer Mokoena getting the ball more from Williams to start our attacks, but that's our normal formation, you know, the 4-2-3-1, and with Apollos also on the other side with Maseko, these are the guys who will be looking to inadvertently get more shots.
Mokoena, 94% passing accuracy. He wants the ball, and not only that, but he leads Bafana in receiving the ball under pressure. 55 times he said, give it to me, and there's pressure around him.
Yeah, it's amazing to have a player like that in your team. I think also for the defensive lineup for Williams, if you have someone who's not scared to receive the ball at any time, you can find him as soon as you see him. You can feel confident to give them the ball, and I think there's so much that will have to go through him today. Especially also Canada being a physical side, keeping a lot of pressure on them, probably won't give him the distance to really free himself up. So if he's still comfortable receiving the ball and doing that, then it's going to be very key for South Africa today.
Apollos is another one who likes to have the ball.
Yeah, I mean, Apollos has always been important in the national team, and because also it helps the fact that he's playing lopsided on the left-hand side. Whenever he comes in those pockets, you allow Mudiba to be able to go through, but also we know Esther how comfortable he is on the ball. He likes to shoot outside the box, and we're just hoping that today is one of those games that we'll have enough space to be able to do that, because he's got such talent, and whenever he's on song, it really, really helps the attackers also to play better.
Let's now head to that magnificent stadium. $5.5 billion worth of stadium, and none other than our very own Shaba and Julia Stewart are there to give a sense of what that must be like on a historic day for South African football. That left foot will never be forgotten, Shaba, but is someone today going to maybe make even more history for Bafana? Julia, take us away.
Hello, Thomas and the team in studio. Hello, Africa. Welcome to Los Angeles, the entertainment capital of the world. It's where the knockout rounds of the greatest show on earth begin. A momentous occasion, a moment in history, Sibiwa Shabalala, for South Africa. They've never been here before, but it's the same story for Canada as well. Let's talk about the Bafana perspective. What do you think the players are feeling right now ahead of this once-in-a-lifetime game?
I think the players are ready. They're excited. They brought us here into this stage. They made history as well. So it's another opportunity for them to make history again. Yes, it's a big game that requires everyone to bring their A game as well, but it will also be more mental as well, having to play against one of the host nations as well. There'll be more, passion as well. There'll be more energy as well. There'll be more hype from the home side.
Well, one change to the Bafana starting 11, then Mokoena back from suspension and straight back into the 11. Bata is out today. What do you make of the team that coach Hugo Bruce, who by the way, also makes history today? He becomes the oldest coach to lead a nation in a World Cup knockout. What do you make of the team that he selected?
It's still a strong team, very balanced and very offensive as well. Obviously, he has to sacrifice talent, but he played really well, and he's bringing someone who's experienced as well, who's got character, who's got the quality, who also add value to the team. And we also have a strong bench, talent is there also. He can come and help stabilize in the midfield. But Mokoena will be crucial, linking us up, helping us with build-up play and also connecting with the offensive side.
Before the last game, you said it's key for Bafana not to concede an early goal, which they had done in the previous two games. They didn't do that, and they went on to keep a clean sheet and win the match. What do you think is important today against Canada? How can they get the win that takes them through to the next round?
It's very important that we don't start on the back foot. We start well as well, and we don't give them enough chances as well to give them confidence to come at us. I think we need to focus in the first critical phase, first 15 minutes. And also the most important thing, we need to be effective as well off the ball. I think this will be a game of small margin. So therefore, mental fortitude is highly required.
A game of mental fortitude, says Shabalala. He's been there before, played in one of South Africa's biggest World Cup games. This is probably as big, if not bigger, a chance to move into uncharted territory, which this already is. And they face the Canada side, who have also never been here before. We're going to get a Canada perspective from another former Bafana player in just a little bit.
Can't wait for that next conversation. Julia, thank you very much. Now, let's get across to Soweto, one of the heartbeats of township life here in South Africa, where at Disofeng, we're going to get a perspective of what fans on the ground are feeling about this big day for Bafana.
Your day, etc. We can see we are all ready for
I'm standing here with a few Bafana supporters. It's very clear to see who they're supporting. So I'm going to get some predictions from them. What's the score going to be tonight?
Oh, the score tonight is going to be 2-1. We are taking it. Yay!
2-1, they are taking it. What do you think?
The score is going to be 2-0. Mokoena and Maseko. Yebo.
We've got two goal scorers there, Mokoena and Maseko, for 2-0 South Africa win. What's the score prediction, brother?
2-1 to Bafana.
Who's scoring?
I think Relay is going to come to the party today. And I think Apollos is going to score the second one.
Oh, nice. Relay and Apollos. Pirates.
Yeah, I'm a Kosi fan, but Pirates will help us today.
Ultimately, it's about Bafana today. So, 2-1 Bafana, 2-0 Bafana, 2-1 Bafana. What's the score today?
2-1. Bafana, we are taking it.
No, I like
that is the win.
We are scoring 2 here. It's just 2s all around. Okay. Are you also saying 2 Bafana?
No, it's 1-0.
1-0. Who's the match winner?
Tebza Mokoena.
Tebza Mokoena. Last one. What's your prediction for tonight's game? Who's gonna win?
What's the question?
Prediction
2-1.
2-1 Bafana.
Yeah, 2-1.
Nice. We've got optimistic fans all around. Let's stay tuned and see what Bafana produce.
Villarreal. And I'm looking at changes to Coach Awayenza, Coach and Kinel. I think he's trying to go pound for pound, Bafana. And some of the changes are made because he wants to disturb the tactical approach, Bafana. So it's not the same Canada that we saw opening second, third. So they've changed. And the players that they've changed, it's not just players. You know, it's players that we need to be wary and be very careful, because there are two things that South Africa needs to be able to do: the decision making and a perfect one touch.
It will be crucial to see how those 4 changes will affect umdlalo wanamhlanje. But let's look then at the starting 11. 4 changes from the team that lost 2-1 against Switzerland. We've got the likes of Miller, Oluwaseyi, Schaffelberg coming into the game. Interesting that coach has dropped Lauren to the bench, which is a player that we know is so good in terms of their attack.
O'Laren, I think he was a very crucial player, but I've seen Miller as well come in, and he's also one of the quality players. He's creative. You have Buchanan on the right as well. Both very dangerous because they're also able to play those diagonal balls to David up front. And Estier, the captain, how do you pronounce the name? Estacio. Also very good in how he's able to connect to the defense as well. So I think it's also going to be a battle in the middle where the ball might be won. And what Udok was saying now, that we might see a different Canada today. I see as well, coach, maybe in my view, that it might also not be such a high pressing Canada because they have respect for Bafana. They've seen what they're capable of doing. So they might also want to start building from the back. But I think also one key player for me, which South Africa can capitalize on, is the goalkeeper, because he made a lot of mistakes. And I think but we can have your Mahopa up front there pressing and going high, and those shots as well coming from Omaseko, we can...
We saw it in their opening game against Bosnia. We saw it again against Switzerland. So that is something South Africa's attack will need to try and capitalize on.
Yeah, they push too high, and I think sometimes they get too carried away because as much as we speak about the 3 playing lines, zones in the defensive, the mid, and we also have 4, you know, when you go vertically, where you want your left fullback to be in, one of the center backs. And we always find that the right back from Canada, which was Johnston in the past match, he gets so carried away that he literally goes over the far goal post, which now can work to our advantage if our police can stay wide and come in sneaking from behind, and then we possibly can get across, because we'll normally get Umudao also just joining the attack and then bringing those diagonal crosses. So I think if we can obviously try build from the back, but as soon as we go forward, just try quickly get a diagonal ball to punish them from the left-hand side, because I think that's where we could be stronger in this situation if Johnson is going to play on the right back.
All right, we are, of course, building up to a massive game. It is Bafana that take on the Reds of Canada. We do, of course, have the Super Jono in Mazola Molife, who's out there in Los Angeles. Let's head back to him now.
Yeah, Busi, we're here. We are in Los Angeles, the Los Angeles Stadium for branding purposes, of course. You know it as the Soulful Stadium, which was built a couple of years ago. And the architecture here is amazing. It's the Copa Mundial. We've been waiting for a long time, and Bafana finally made some history after beating South Korea. And by the way, breaking news just now on my way here, the South Korea coach resigning from his particular job in that instance following their elimination from the FIFA World Cup 2026. And it's because of Bafana who took that second spot in Group A and are now here to face Canada. And I must tell you some interesting news just from the press conference yesterday with the respective coaches. Alphonso Davies, the captain of Canada, has been the major talking point at this World Cup at the moment. He's not played a single match of the group stage fixtures for Canada, and Jesse March admitting that they sort of used him as a decoy coming into the World Cup because he got injured in May playing for his country. And then obviously we know he plays for Bayern Munich in the German Bundesliga, and he's had multiple hamstring injuries that have kept him unavailable for this particular match. And it's interesting now as we build up to this match regarding his fitness as well and what role he will play. That is Alphonso Davies. A lot of people are wondering why Canada decided to pick him when they knew that he would not play a single game. But Hugo Bruce will not care that much as you hear the loud roar here inside this arena. It's amazing. Outside, it's a bit chilly. It's not the weather that we've been accustomed to in Mexico and even in Atlanta. We were talking some 25 27 degrees, and even with the humidity in Monterrey, for instance, about 30 degrees, even as that game played at night. But here, a lot cooler. I'm talking 23 degrees Celsius here in Atlanta. And because the stadium is covered, as I told you before, how these stadiums are built here, the stadium is covered. I don't know if the hydration break is even necessary. Another major talking point here at this fixture as well. So, but we build up to this particular one, hoping that Hugo Bruce will do Bafana proud. The atmosphere, as I said, is incredible, but not a lot of South African fans, as you can imagine, because a lot of them were in Mexico, but didn't quite make it here. But let's see. It's still a couple of minutes before kickoff, but I'll hand it back to you in studio as we hope Bafana do create history and make it to the round of 16. Back to you, the studio.
Thank you so much to Mazora Molife. Of course, there is a man at the helm of this Canadian side that is tasked with them getting their first ever victory against African opposition at a World Cup FIFA game. Let's now hear from Coach Marsh.